What's up? What's up?
What's happening?
Hello out there.
This is a treat right here, man, to just kind of talk, bro.
Man, I can't believe it's Tuesday, is what
I
I'm
know,
like.
right?
What happened to Monday and
Monday
Sunday?
is gone, bro.
I mean, man.
Done, son. Then the weather today didn't help any, did it? With the dreariness and stuff.
Nope. But just like they say, man, that when the older you get, them days go by quick.
Man, local musicians XP, bro. What episode is this? 31?
I believe this is 31.
Man, we chopping it on down, bro.
I mean, I was going through some of the older, especially, man, some of our first episodes, and Brian Falgu, who's been helping out with he starting to put together some little short clips of
Right.
stuff. So he did one of the business 101 that we did with Podhorser, and
Oh yeah.
then he did a little one with Tom Gross. And I
Okay.
went back, man, the very first ones that we did, it's like we come a long way, but we got a long way to go, man.
Right,
I
right,
mean,
right.
you just got to get in there and figure it out. Anybody that wants to you just get in there, you just start figuring it out, man. There is no start at you got to just get in there and figure it out.
Dude, do you remember like the video stuff that was popular during COVID where everybody like assembled their videos and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Man, one popped across
For my
my
pen.
whatever, Facebook or Instagram, whatever.
Uh-huh.
And some joints when you first start off, you see yourself going set up the camera and stuff like that. And you go, there's no edits, nothing.
I still see people do that, man. I
Right,
still
right,
see people like turn the camera on, go and sit
right,
out,
right,
do it.
right.
I'm like, no, man, come on
They look at
now.
the camera. Is it on? Can you see me catching the thing? You're like, bro.
Oh,
But some of those videos, bro, COVID when it first started up, musicians trying to be video editors is hilarious, bro.
he didn't know nothing.
Nothing, man.
Nothing.
No.
Trying
Yeah,
to, everybody was at home, man, just trying to
bro. Try to make something work, bro.
trying to make something work. So, well, thanks for joining us tonight. This is our 31st episode of Local Musicians XP. We man, it's slowly starting to kind of come together a little bit. We're getting some we're getting a lot of feedback from the community. We've got some extracurricular things that we're gonna try to get going this year as well. We're gonna have a session that we're gonna start possibly just do kind of once a month. We're still looking for a location for that, so we're taking um, anyone that has ideas, or we've already been pitched a few things that we're taking a look at, but we're looking for a location, preferably non-food and beverage is what we're looking for. So but we'll talk more about that, and then just we've got some other content stuff that we're working on. We've got some people that are starting to kind of help us out with some things. So our YouTube channel has been putting a lot more content, more videos and stuff out, and focusing on exactly kind of what we wanted to do, which was focus on more people in the community, what they're doing, the musicians, young musicians, old musicians, it doesn't matter, but just sort of spotlight the people that are in your own community. I feel like that's a pretty important thing to do. So we've got some clips that Brian Falgu has been helping us out with that. So that stuff's up on our YouTube. But please go to our YouTube, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you'll know when we're live and when we do drop a new video. You can support us also on Facebook, Instagram. What else?
You
That's it,
gotta
right?
hit the like button, man, because I have a lot of people tell me, "Hey, I watched the show. They don't comment. Okay, that's your prerogative. But
It's just that, but
come on,
I'm
man.
guilty of that too, man. Like you
Yeah,
get on YouTube because sometimes on YouTube, especially if you're watching it from your television, it's
right.
hard to get to the
To the like
to
button.
the like button and all that kind of stuff. It's like, and you just forget about it, man.
Right, right. But
So
we gotta get it in there, man. So more of this could happen, and you could have your voice in there. We like to
exactly,
know who's in there. So
exactly. Comment,
comment,
just like
please.
you said, like, because that and share, that also helps us out a lot. But you can follow our Facebook page, follow our Instagram page. Both of those are under Local Musicians XP, and
Yes.
should be pretty easy to find. You can also individually follow us. I am CB Drum 2 on Instagram. Tyrone is Tyrone J on Instagram. So you can follow our individual Instagrams, and then our Facebook. We're pretty much under our normal names. Now, Tyrone Jack, we've talked about this. I didn't. Are there other Tyrone Jacksons on Facebook?
Oh yeah, they got a lot of Tyrone Jacksons,
They
but
got
there's a couple in particular are kind of some criminals, bro.
oh,
One in Gary, Indiana, and one that you can still look up this clip in Augusta, Georgia. Got beat up by off-duty fireman because he was trying to steal out of the Salvation Army bucket.
huh?
Yes, somebody had the nerve to ask if that was me. I'm like, bro, come on. I need to steal out of a Salvation Army bucket. So
Hold up.
you're gonna look up one.
Hold
Oh,
up,
there's
man.
a Tyrone Jackson that's a financial advisor, and there's also a Tyrone Jackson that's a boxer, and a Tyrone Jackson that's a guitar player, believe it or not. But he owns TyroneJackson.net. So
Okay.
are
Well,
you gonna pull up that cat up?
let me see. So I'm gonna see. Let's see what we got here.
Okay. Look at
All
that.
right.
Tuskegee University.
All right. So here we. Oh. Who's his brother?
That might be the guitar player dude.
Is that the guitar player?
He said he lives in Atlanta. I don't know him.
Self-employed. Let's see.
Self-employed.
Let's see all. Let's
The little
see.
sweets.
Everybody looks legit. Well, you got some with no picture.
Yeah, exactly, bro.
You gotta leave them. You gotta leave them alone.
Don't trust him, bro. Don't trust him.
And you got Tyrone Jackson lives in Atlanta. You got another Tyrone that lives in Atlanta.
Oh man, this is not good. I'm going to start going by my middle name.
Let's see.
What's this one? Wait, this got a caption on that. Go back up.
Where?
Right
Right.
here.
Oh. Let's see. Yeah. What that?
Works at what?
Bruh, he got a gun, bruh. Let me see.
You know what I'm
Works
saying?
at Backpack Boys. Now we're not gonna
Backpack boys, bro. Please.
well, let's say you got but this is the real Tyrone Jackson right here.
There we go. There we go.
That's the real Tyrone.
There you go.
Yeah. You got a lot of competition though, bro.
What about Chris Burroughs? You ain't got no Chris Burroughs?
Nah, we don't need to do that. We don't need to do that.
But look, that's important right there. I need to change that. I'm not a lecturer anymore. I'm senior lecturer. Come on now.
Yeah, man, you gotta change that, dude.
Gotta change that up, bro. I changed my style, bro.
So yeah, man. So I think we're just gonna get right into this one because we've been meaning to get to our guests for a long time.
Hey,
And
before we get to that guest, I'm gonna show
okay,
a comment, bro. Here's a comment. Look at this one.
okay.
I rarely comment, but I'm here. I
Oh
am here.
God, Harmony in Life. Who I never heard of Harmony. Who is that?
You don't? Yes.
Who's that?
Hey, Pittsburgh Steelers all day.
Yeah,
Pittsburgh.
Steelers. Yeah, I rarely comment.
We should have put some Steelers up there, and then maybe we would have said something. You know. That's one of the ones that hits me up afterwards. That's one of the ones that hits me up afterwards. I really like the show, man. Say something. I knew you were gonna say something tonight.
What's going on, Ron? So
look at that.
Let's see.
Barely talkies. What's that?
What does that mean? He's been getting real mouthy lately, man. I think he get real comfortable.
Right, he got real comfortable.
He's getting potholders are getting real comfortable, man. He just, leave him in, y'all crack us up. Man, we've got Tia Ricks in the house. What's going on, Tia?
Buck.
Mark, Ron, John, Tia, good to see you. If you are in the stream, drop us a comment in the chat. Brian Falgout is in the chat saying hello. Have to head out early, guys. Let's see what he says. Have to head out early, guys. But hello, props to Chris for playing all night last. Yeah, we won't talk about that.
Wait, did he play all night with a good attitude?
I did, man.
With a good attitude?
I promise you, I was in a great spirits last night.
Did you vibe anybody?
I vibe nobody, man.
What?
I vibe nobody. Nobody.
Nobody got vibe.
Nobody got vibe, man. Nobody got vibe.
OLG, shout out OLG.
They were there. What's going on, Brad?
Brad has made it in. Okay, Brad.
Brad back, man. Brad back in full force.
See you guys.
Let's see here. Podorzer said reference to early podcast. I got to think about that. Okay.
Ron, I got you on that, bro. We got to talk Russell Wilson and Justin Fields.
Oh, Lord.
I can't believe Pittsburgh did it, bro. I cannot. Usually we don't go after people, bro.
Speaking of, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this.
You that?
Let's do this.
Somebody be cracking on my title, but I ain't gonna say nothing. Rod Wilson. Come on now.
What's wrong with the title?
They act like I'm like 4 years old. No, come on.
Well, what does doot mean?
See, I knew that was gonna come up.
I'm just asking.
We're gonna talk with our guests about that because
was it? Did you already title the song, or did that come with?
Our guest would never title a song that. However, I gotta say, we did a good job working together on it. I really enjoyed the process.
So, were the lyrics? Is that a collaborative effort, or was that?
Well, only lyrics I contributed. Do.
And then you took credit, didn't you?
No.
Ooh, I'm a co-writer. Ooh, I co-wrote this. Ooh. One line.
Hey, bro.
The song got 100 lines. You get one line. Ooh, I'm a co-writer.
Come on, man. Quincy Jones probably did it a billion times. Hey, man, you should just say this right here, man. That's it.
All right. Well, thanks for everybody for dropping us a comment. We got brother Nick Gannon in the house.
Oh.
What's going on, Nick? Good to see you, my man. Thanks for tuning in. All right, so let's talk about the artist that's featured on this particular composition here that was on your record.
Yes.
Did I know her before you? Yes, I think I did.
You introduced her to me.
I did introduce her.
You introduced me to her.
That is correct. She was looking for...
No, I thought you had a gig.
Huh?
You had a gig, and I was on a gig. That's how I met her. Churchill Grounds.
Oh, well, okay, yeah. But I believe she asked for a recommendation.
For that gig? Nah, you put that gig together. It was me, you, and Craig Shaw.
But before that,
okay,
is what I'm saying.
All right, but I don't know about that.
Yeah. So I believe I might have dropped your name.
All right, drop my name, bro.
I could be wrong.
I made a lot of money off of that name drop.
I didn't make it.
Made a lot
I
of money
off of shoot. Matter of fact, I should buy the rights to Tyrone Jackson. Is what I should do. I mean,
change my name, bro.
Jack owns Marilyn Monroe.
What?
Yes.
Okay.
He owns a whole bunch of names.
Jack who? Jones? You said Jack?
No, Shaq.
Oh, Shaq. Oh, Shaq. Okay. I thought you said Jack. I thought Jack Jones.
No. No. Jack barely owned his name. But there's I should buy the rights to Tyrone Jackson. Is what I should do. But anyway, let's get into it. So, I can't remember when I actually met our guest, but it was a while back. I believe it was through our friend Kari Simmons.
That sounds about right.
That would probably be the move. But I had already, I was aware of her and had seen her perform several times playing with Kari, and then maybe we were on a Kari gig together. Is kind of how I would probably think. So, but it's hard to remember everything. But anyway, I was just, loved the way she performed, loved the way she sang, got to know each other, started working together a little bit. I think I was doing a couple of things with her before you came in, and we started doing the jazz stuff, but we were doing her original stuff. And she's cultivated a solo career in some really competitive waters, especially back when, you're talking about the days of Apache Cafe, Yin Yang Cafe. People were on their hustle. There was a lot of competition out there, a lot of great singers, a lot of great projects, a lot of great bands. And she found a way to, what I always respect is to have your own voice and bring something different to the table, which is very difficult to do.
And to get the right artists and musicians to work with you, especially if your stuff are original works and is done a certain way. It's hard to get Atlanta musicians to practice your stuff, original stuff. It's hard.
Well,
do covers a lot, so.
Well, yeah, but when you're when you have a lot of original material, right? Yeah. Right. But back in those times, man, that's kind of what the deal was.
Yeah, you're right. It kind of changed where cats didn't want to rehearse anything.
Right. That's what I'm saying is I think in those, it was like, man, it was about, because it was still, record business was still kind of going on. So people were still writing, people were still producing. But anyway, so I've admired for a long time. And then also another mutual friend of ours, Kurt Mitchell, I had worked with Kurt a bunch with Miguel Romero and a couple of other people. And then I found out that they were bandmates with Isaac Hayes. I was like, wow, okay. So one thing just leads to another, man. And it's all about building relationships with people, being flexible, trying to be as diverse as you can so you can meet different people on the scene. And, was fortunate enough to become friends and start working with her. And with no further ado, we are going to bring in to the stage Rhonda Thomas. What's up, Rhonda?
Hey, I'm trying to make sure you can see me well. How's that?
There it is. We got you. We got you.
Oh, I see records and stuff in the background.
Records? Records? What's that?
Yeah, vinyl.
Man.
1, 2, 3. They're poster boards of my albums.
Vinyl, and one is called Vinyl Days. I know that album. Yeah.
Vinyl Days. Yes, right there.
Wow.
Hey, guess what? Put it on that Christmas one. That's the one I'm on.
Yeah. And you're on that one too, Rhonda Reimagine.
Yeah, Reimagine the live joint.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Okay. I made 2 albums, bro.
You made 2 records, man. See, I need to get the rights to Tyrone Jackson.
I'm looking at Tyrone Jackson now, bro, at a premium rate.
I need to get those rights. So how you been, Ryan? I haven't seen you in a minute. I think maybe when was
Atlanta Jazz Festival?
Possibly, right. Yeah.
2022?
Yeah, maybe so.
Maybe. Wait, let's start with the fact that there are a lot of Chris Burroughs on Instagram.
Thank you, Rhonda. Receipts.
That was what? Okay.
Just letting you know.
Okay.
Then I have another question. What's vibing? You said you vibed. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. I'm not hip. Hit me.
So you're not familiar with that term? So have you never been vibed before by another
Is it a good thing?
Oh, have you ever vibed somebody?
No.
If it's a good thing, yes. If it's a bad thing, no, I have not.
No,
you probably if it's a bad thing, you probably have vibed somebody.
Yeah.
No, you're too nice.
I vibe them. What does it mean?
You might have been vibed before.
Call them out.
No,
it's when
it's
you sort of,
opposite of
somebody, let's just say when somebody's not up to your expectations or your your however you think of yourself, and somebody's not quite there yet, and they're on the stage attempting to play, and you give them a certain energy. That's what vibing is.
I'm gonna let Tyrone answer that.
That's a vibe look right there. I'm gonna show you something.
Okay. Right.
Have I done that, Tyrone, on a gig? I don't think I've done that with my musicians.
You have not vibed a person, but if a situation comes up, you will look at me.
This is true. That's true. Yes. I'll look at you like, come on.
Vibing is that, plus you don't interact with the person either. Like, hey man, how you doing? Like, whatever. Then you can vibe.
Okay. Then I know when I vibe. Atlanta Jazz Festival 2019. Okay. We were on the stage and we were performing Fela's Zombie.
I know what you're about to say.
Okay. And we had a percussionist. I will not mention his name, but it was not Frankie Quinones. I will say that. And it was not Rafael Paera. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Yeah. So anybody else you want to think it was them? Maybe. So there's a section. Well, the entire song you're supposed to be playing the cowbell. Attention, quick march, slow march, all of that, right? This dude was playing percussion, and then he would stop and he played a cowbell. But then in the break, he's supposed to be playing the cowbell. It's just drums and him playing the cowbell. He started doing the floss.
The dance.
You know what floss is?
Oh, I heard about this.
So he was just doing this dance for the whole audience at the Atlanta Jazz Festival.
For the record, you guys, if this person happens to be watching, I'm not saying anything about it because this person is like a priest in the Santa Rosa, Santa Maria religion.
Santa Maria.
You're doing floss.
Santa Maria, bro.
That's the story.
Hey, I don't mess with that, bro. like Frankie said, man, I'm a Christian. I got to get out.
Here's the question: Do I know the person?
I wonder if you do. You probably do because Frankie knows the person and was putting them on.
Because you know how I am about perpetrating percussionists. Man.
Oh no, wait, he can play.
He can play.
He's real.
Oh, okay.
Right. But
do any of that during the rehearsal. We didn't know he was going to do that.
Rhonda, he was dressed to the. I never thought he was going to be dressed like that, huh? He was.
I know.
He was seriously. He had sunglasses on. He was ready to go.
He was ready for the spotlight.
Yes.
He was ready for his big break.
For his big break. Okay.
His family was there.
Okay. Rhonda, how many times did that breakdown happen?
Oh my gosh, at least 5-6 times in the song.
Every time he did the same thing.
Every time. And I vibed Tyrone. I was like, Tyrone said, play the cowbell, man, play the cowbell. We got it on tape.
Right. He's like, by the time he grabbed the cowbell and start playing again, the break
Tyrone, you think Tyrone's the nicest guy in the world. Wait till you get on stage and you doing something you're not supposed to be doing. I've seen it a million times.
Hey, bro. I've seen it. Oh, yeah.
I've seen it a million times. I'm like, dude,
I know he's always so jolly, but don't let somebody do something they're not supposed to be doing.
He turns into a different
master.
They're turning into a different cat, man.
That's when he's Dr. Jackson. Right on stage. Dr. Jackson comes out.
That's funny. Okay, so you have vibed somebody though.
Yeah.
Now, do you feel like you've ever been vibed?
I have to think about that.
I know one instance that you've been vibed.
Tell me.
I can't tell you.
Oh, okay. Tell me later.
I'll tell you later. Yeah.
Okay.
Because you know that you've been vibed by this person, and you were like, Really?
What was it? What's their? You can't tell their initials.
Oh no.
Okay. Tell me later.
All right.
I don't want, I don't want to smoke.
I want to know that one, but
yes, I will definitely tell you.
I'm sure I've been vibed. I'm not that
one time that
arrogant to think that no one's vibed me. So
right.
I'm sure someone has vibed me.
Okay. All right. Well, let's get to the nitty gritty.
Okay.
Let's just talk a little bit about where you're from and your upbringing, and we'll just kind of start from the beginning.
Okie doke. I'm from Roosevelt, Long Island, New York.
New York.
Yes. So Dr. J went to my school. Eddie Murphy was in 12th grade when I was in 7th grade. It was a junior, senior high school. Roosevelt Junior, Senior High School, 7th to 12th grade. Eddie Murphy's brother, Vernon Lynch, was in my class. Public Enemy is from my area, the group Guy. So, Howard Stern. Howard Stern went to Roosevelt.
Okay. Wow. Really?
Okay.
All
right.
So that's where I grew up.
Island. Man.
Where did the music start? Did the music start there?
It started when I was about 7 years old. There was a talent show, and I mentioned it to my mom, and she told me, "Well, you go to your principal and tell him that you know how to sing." And I was like, "Okay." And so I told him I could sing, and I sang Somewhere Over the Rainbow in the talent show.
Wow.
At 7.
Okay. We got clips of that? We got
no, but I do remember my mom.
They didn't have cameras back then, bro.
No. Well, they probably did.
Your mom had one of them joints like this.
I was just about to say. but no, we don't have any footage. But I do remember I sang Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Oh yeah, I remember my mom trying to help me project. I know. And she would have me on the back in the living room, and I would be singing. And she said, "I still can't hear you. Sing from your diaphragm." And then she'd make me walk to the kitchen, and she'd stay in the living room. And she'd say, "I still can't hear you. Sing from your diaphragm." And I had to go out on the back porch. And she was like, "Sing from your diaphragm, not your throat, not your chest." So those were the early beginnings.
Where are those parents these days? Because we got parents these days like, "Oh, you sound good. You ready to go?"
And it's a travesty before man and God that they do that, because everybody doesn't have to sing. Everybody doesn't have to be in music. Right. Everybody has a gift that they should cultivate. Everybody doesn't need to be singing.
Right.
That's right. Now, was your mother a vocalist? Was your mother a vocalist?
She was in the Air Force, and she had a really great voice when she was in the Air Force, and she'll tell you now that no, she doesn't anymore. But my father managed a band called the New York Soul Syndicate, and they were an R&B band. Okay. And, they had the cameo outfits, the Earth, Wind, and Fire outfits, all that music, and the chest was open, and they performed on the East Coast. And 2 famous people were from their band. Vesta, do you remember Vesta?
Yeah. Okay.
We sang with them. And Robin S. You got to show me love. Remember? Okay. You know her? She lives here in Atlanta.
Okay.
So they were from his band, and he didn't pay any attention to me singing. He was into the band, which is literally why my parents are divorced, because they had 2 different lives. I say that all the time. They don't care. They know.
Beyonce's parents, huh? Beyonce's parents broke up.
Right.
It's a whole different thing.
But at least Beyonce's dad poured into her.
Your dad poured into you, huh?
But he loves me. I love him.
Yeah.
I had to make it on my own.
Of course.
So what kind of music were you listening to growing up? Were you just stuff on the radio? I'm sure there was all kinds of different music in the house, and just what kind of stuff were you kind of brought up on?
Everything. My father's band, New York Soul Syndicate, I was listening to them perform in the basement, and they had the horn section, they had the background singers, the lead singers, everybody. They had the moves, and my father's from Antigua, West Indies. He moved to New Jersey. My parents met in New Jersey, moved to New York. My father loved James Brown. He got off of that airplane, New Jersey. He thought he was James Brown. He liked the group War. He liked all of that.
War.
Yeah. What's the other group with the horns? Tower Power, all of that.
Right.
So he felt like my
horn, great horn bands. Now, did he have a perm? Did he have a perm like James Brown though?
No, he had the before perm James. Well, I'm Black and I'm Proud, James.
Okay.
But he did have the chest opening, the medallion that had Scorpio.
Okay. So he was hardcore.
Your dad is a Scorpio.
And my mom's a Scorpio.
Ooh.
You know, I'm November 19th, by the way.
You're not a Scorpio. Is that a Scorpio?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it is. Because my mom's the 1st and my dad's November 12th. You are a Scorpio.
Okay.
What sign is Roberta?
Cancer.
Okay. What about you, Chris?
I'm a Libra.
Okay.
So
I'm a Virgo.
I get along with Scorpios though, boy.
Hey.
Rise.
Yeah.
What I usually do is bring balance to their lives, though. That's why Scorpio.
Are y'all balanced?
I bring balance. You know, they're so one-sided, man. Y'all so one-sided, bro. Y'all.
So,
what say you, Tyrone? What say you?
Yeah, I am. So what?
At least you admit it.
Right. Hey.
Well, that's cool. So in high school,
my mom. I should mention my mom introduced me to Nancy Wilson, Nina Simone, Al Jarreau, Angela Bofill. Well, I was listening to Angela Bofill and DeBarge and hip hop and stuff on the radio. But my mom did love Angela Bofill. What else did she listen to? Some classical, lots of Straight Ahead. She was like, you stand on stage, you be still, and you just exude, and you're a class act, and you don't have to get off the stage and do all of that. Walking into the audience as tacky, don't do that.
Take your shoes off.
Don't do that. My father.
You didn't listen to that, did you? You didn't listen to that, did you?
A combination.
You did not listen.
I've been with her.
Rhonda be in the crowd. Rhonda be in the crowd in a heartbeat, dude.
But she tells on her mother. That's what she does. She's like, my mom is here tonight. She would not approve, but guess what? Mom, you just going to take this one. I did the classic stuff, Mom.
I did that at my graduation, my high school graduation. I sang Everything Must Change. And it was great. The audience loved it. My class loved it. And I got off the stage. My parents were arguing. And Ron just said, be careful. Your mom is listening. I know she's listening. I love you, Mom. So my father said, yeah, you were good, but you should have got off the stage and got down on one knee and worked the crowd. And my mom said, she can't work the crowd at the graduation. She's a class act. So.
Okay. So
but I do both.
That's why you've got the showmanship plus the
that.
Hey,
that
makes sense now.
I'm classy when I need to be, but I'm gonna get funky and do what I need to do.
Classy and ratchet? Okay. No.
Ratchet.
Oh,
not ratchet.
Oh,
I'm just messing with you. You are not ratchet.
You know my mom's on, so I just take it back.
You're not ratchet at all. Not at all. That's a different thing. But you know. Hey.
So, what was the first? Were you ever part of a band when you were? Did you ever join a band where you were the chick singer? Where you were the chick singer in the band?
I wasn't the chick singer, but I was one of 3 singers. I can't remember the name of that band, but it was out of Connecticut.
Okay.
And I don't even want to talk about that. Next.
What age were you?
I was grown. I was like mid-20s.
Okay.
Well, let's just say it like this. Was that a learning experience for you?
Yes, it was a learning experience that I did not want to be in a female band.
But you had to go through it though first, right?
I did, so I would know. I did not like that at all.
So the vocalists were females, the whole band was females.
Just the vocalists, 3 vocalists. Okay. I don't even remember if we had a band and we were touring. It didn't last that long. We recorded something, and I didn't like their attitudes were just funky and ratchet.
Okay.
I don't do ratchet.
Okay.
So I had to exit that band. What's the next thing? What's the next thing that presents itself?
I've had all my own bands, Rhonda Thomas, but then when I moved to Atlanta, Jiva.
Okay, so what was the impetus for you moving to Atlanta?
I'm a mama's girl. My mom was here, and I was going to grad school in Connecticut because I'm a speech pathologist as well. We could talk about that later. Mm-hmm. And my mom was living in Georgia. My brother was here at the time, and I moved here.
How much do you critique people's speech? Like now I think that you might have been critiquing me all these years, you know what I'm saying?
My mother was very conscious of how we spoke in the home. We weren't saying ain't and fitna and all of that. I just said all of that, but that's because that comes out. But I can code. I know how to code.
Rebellious.
But it's communication, though. You can't speak one way. Like if I went to the gas station in the hood, whatever, and want to ask for directions, I can't say, "Hello, my good man. How are you?" Man, I'd be getting.
You should do that.
No, you shouldn't. Don't say that, Libra.
There's certain things that are idiomatic that you have to do, and the same thing happens in music, right? You can't play a classical song for, a blues festival, right? You got to play something that's going to be emotive to the crowd.
Great analogy.
You can't do the same thing in the concert hall. You can't play like a bluesy song and kick off your shoes and stuff like that. So I think, Rhonda, that's why you are so well versed in all those areas, because your upbringing has brought you through so many different styles. You know how to code switch on a lot of those songs and interact,
And I love, thank you. And I honestly love the different styles of music that I perform. Right. I'm never just performing it because people want to hear it. I love Afrobeat. I love straight ahead. I love some hip hop. I love dance hall. I love all of it. So you're going to see it infused in the show. And that's why the musicians work so hard, because Tyrone will tell you on the Atlanta Jazz Festival, we craft a whole performance.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So when did you? So you said you joined Jiva, which is Kari Simmons and 100 other people. No, I'm just kidding. It's a big band, though.
Yeah,
it's a big band, and the style of Incognito and Groove Theory and Kari. Were you in the first incarnation of Jiva?
Close to it. I was there in 96, 97. So there was one iteration right before me that had 4 members, and then Drea was actually in the group, and then she left, and then I was there. So myself, Alex Lattimore, Paige Lackey. Am I missing somebody? Right. Paige. I think that it was us.
Was Drea Renee? Was there? That
was her. I think it was Drea Renee. I think that was her last name.
I mean, really close to, because Kari and I were in a band with Adrian Fish around that time. I remember that.
We traveled all together to DC with Donnie.
That's
Donnie,
right.
Yes.
Man, Donnie, man.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. We actually need to have a discussion at some point.
Beyonce was on the Today Show, and they asked her who she listens to, and she said Donnie Johnson.
What?
I gotta tell you one quick just because I mean that name. I mean, we haven't even hasn't been brought up in a while, man. But I think I told you this, T man. So it was actually with Adrian. We were, and Donnie was opening for Adrian. We were in we were somewhere now. I want to say like maybe it was Birmingham, but I think it was even maybe it might have been like Selma or somewhere where we were in this old theater, and I was like, Donnie, who's Donnie? Like that. She was like, oh, he's a singer. He's he's trying to get a record deal and all this stuff. I'm like, okay. So I remember our dressing rooms were right next to each other, and I go in there, and I'm expected to see like Donnie and I look in there, and it's just one dude, and he's just in there, just I don't even know what he was just being quiet, standing there, and I just got this vibe. I was like, uh-oh. I was like, I came back, I was like, man, he's in there by himself. He was like, yeah, he's gonna sing a cappella. I was like, come on. I said, come on, man.
That sounds like no you vibing somebody.
So I was like, man, listen. This dude got up there a cappella. It's still one of the greatest performances I've ever seen anywhere. He shook the whole. We didn't even want to go on stage.
What did he sing?
It was like he was just improvising. I mean, he was singing certain things, but it was like you could tell he was channeling the spirits, and just like in this, he was in a zone where it was like, man, this dude is anointed, man. Like, and to hold a crowd a cappella for about 20 minutes, 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
That was when I found out who Donnie was.
Mm-hmm.
And then later on, and then shortly after that, it was, I think his single started coming out and he started kind of catching a little buzz, but one of a kind, I mean, amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. So,
so what were we saying about? Oh, we went to DC. Donnie, Adrian Fish. I was singing with Jiva, which was Earthseed, which also included Sirius B and
that's right.
Freddie Luster's group.
Yep.
Seek, the group Seek, right?
Yep. Seek. Yep.
And so those are my days. I just got a message that I was supposed to mention. Yes, that I sang at the Apollo Theater and won back in the day in New York.
Wow.
Oh shoot. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
It was wild because there was the Apollo Theater that you saw on TV, and then there was the real Apollo Theater Wednesday night, amateur night, which was a little different. That had about 30 different contestants and 5 winners. And do you remember David Peatston?
Yeah. He was a teacher, a school teacher in
big guy.
Yeah, big guy, yeah.
So he would win all the time. And so I came in second to him on the regular Wednesday night. And once it got big, it went on television and there were only like 5 contestants and he was still winning. I was like, how's he still in the thing? But God rest his soul.
Right. David Easton.
So yes, that was the band I was in, Jiva.
Yeah. Okay. So at what point was it around that time that you decided that, or had you already decided that this is what you wanted to do? You wanted to be a professional singer. You wanted to have your own band, be on the road. Was it around that time or was it before?
Way before that. And when I was in New York and Connecticut, I was performing there and I had my own band, Rhonda and Rhythm. Yes.
Wow. Rhonda and Rhythm.
Rhonda and Rhythm. Yes. And we performed at all the local spots. Nice. And then I performed with my good friend Michael Coppola, and we did a straight ahead jazz album called, where is that album? Hold it. It's over on the end. Guess who I saw today? All the way over there.
Okay.
Vocals and guitar, because we were performing different coffee shops. And
is that your mom's influence with the Nancy Wilson Guess Who I Saw Today? Okay.
Yes, definitely. And that's on that album. So they're all covers on that particular album. And so let's see, that was, I skipped eras and stuff. Had my own band in Connecticut and New York, came to Atlanta. I was the newbie, but I went to the jam sessions and I was, I met Bernard Lynette.
Oh.
Purist. There is no other music.
Right. So where did you meet? Did you meet Bernard at Yin Yang or Churchill, or where did you meet him?
I met him at the Atlanta Jazz Festival jam session, like that Friday night jam or something they used to have at a hotel.
At the Renaissance Waverly?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so then they were like, who's this new girl? And he kind of put me under his wing and I was just singing all straight ahead.
Right.
And my brother, right before I moved to Atlanta in Connecticut, my brother hit me the incognito and Take 6. And when I got to Atlanta and I was doing my own stuff and kind of segued from jazz, I realized, wow, I can scat and infuse that into rhythm and blues and funk. I hadn't really done that a lot before until I heard those other groups doing that.
Right. Mesa and
yeah. I think I did, but not really. I was pretty pure with the as far as the song title, I guess the concept of scatting is lost on a lot of people.
I'm just gonna put that out there because he's coming to my defense about doot. But keep going.
Yeah, we have to talk about that.
Yes.
So I'm scatting and I'm realizing this is a hit. So Donnie had his style, which was Donnie-fied. And my style at the time was really being percussive, which was elements of Al Jarreau that my mom played constantly. Saturday morning, she's playing Al Jarreau. I know it's time to get up and clean. So that's how that happened. So I had my own band, joined Jiva. I was with Isaac Hayes at that time. How that happened was I was singing at a jam session and someone came up to me and asked me if I wanted to tour with Isaac Hayes.
Well,
Okay.
another thing. Sorry, Chris, I got to jump
No,
in on this one. So, one thing I know about you from working with you is that you are really rhythmic centric. And I was telling Chris, I was like, you have a natural understanding for feel and rhythm and beat and meter and stuff like that. I know that you recently did a tap dance thing as well. Do you think that if you weren't a vocalist, you'd be like a drummer or a percussionist? Like, what do you gravitate toward instrument wise? Is that what do you attribute your good sense of rhythm to?
My mother would say when she got her first afro and we were in maybe Harlem or somewhere in New York, my brother wasn't born, so I was probably about a year old or something. And I was sitting on her lap and there were drummers out. Because New York always has live musicians just performing. And they were drumming, and I just started doing this. I was probably less than a year old. And everybody was like, look at that girl. She has rhythm. You need to get her in dance. And so I was in dance classes, Dance Theater of Harlem and Alvin Ailey Children's Companies.
Wow.
That's where I learned all the dancing and rhythm, always having a song in my head, hearing raindrops, just rhythms constantly. So in answer to your question, I want to say drums, but I really think bass, because bass has that rhythm like a drum, but then it's also melodic.
Okay.
Okay.
But I took piano lessons and kind of gave that up. And even Tyrone gave me a couple lessons too. Remember that, Tyrone?
Yes, I'm a hard teacher though. So
you are over there at that piano right there.
Piano, right. But Chris, Rhonda is a self-serving piano player. She's like, I'll go teach her something.
Right.
And she's
what
like,
that mean?
She's like, I just want to play one of my songs.
Yeah. I wanted to play Breathe New Life.
I was like, Chris, you had a question, bro. I hope I didn't distract you too much from your question.
So, well, you hit on something where you said that when you got here and you went to a jam session and you met X person, this person, that person. Tyrone, people think that Tyrone and I are these jam session Nazis, like we're so hard on everybody and we don't, we're not warm and cuddly and we don't embrace. And so, we've talked a lot about, and actually this platform was kind of born out of that, of a lot of what we were just thinking and would talk about and deal with. And one of the things that we would always talk about with trying to talk to, younger cats or people that are not known in the scene is like, how are people going to meet? How are you going to meet people unless you come out and be a part of the community, on some level? You are sitting around acting like your phone is supposed to ring and nobody has heard you play. Nobody knows the type of person you are. Nobody's even talked to you, but you're supposed to be working. How is that possible?
It doesn't matter what level you're on, because I was performing professionally in New York and Connecticut, but nobody knew me in Atlanta. So I went to the jam session to meet people.
Right. So just talk a little bit about, because I think I know fear is a big factor in some people, but the thing is you might not be for everybody. Look, I mean, just because you're not right for one person doesn't mean you're not going to be right for somebody else, but you have to put yourself out there and at least make an effort first to just at least announce that hey, I'm here. I'm trying to find people to work with. This is, and just play together. You might not always put your best foot first at a jam set because you're not going to be on your own stuff. There's always going to be these things, but it's a great opportunity. And I want you to just talk a little bit about your experiences sort of going through that world.
Oh, you hit the nail on the head. I was so nervous. I didn't know anybody here. I didn't know if I was stepping on people's toes. Even when you choose the song you want to sing, I don't know if it's somebody else's jam. I don't know any of the musicians. I just have to come with a level of excellence. And I don't think you have to be a professional to go to a jam session, but you have to have some basic skills in order to get up there, and you have to be open to learn and keep getting better and go back to enhance your craft. But back to being the new person on the block, yeah, you have to go to the jam sessions. Yes, you have to meet people. In fact, there are times where I've kind of been off the scene, and then someone sees me at a jam session and they're like, Rhonda, yeah, oh, I haven't seen you in so long. Can you do this gig? Or let me hit this person to you, because you're just off of the scene. So there's so many reasons why you want to connect and be part of the community.
Being a singer, and we'll talk about how you morphed into your Isaac Hayes situation, but can you talk about kind of three things in one? First thing is, being a singer, you guys are out front, and there's a certain thing that happens with being out front that you guys get blamed for things that happen. Like, nobody knows that the bass player messed up, or the drummer skipped a beat, or the piano player played the wrong chord. By you being out front as a singer, you most of the times get blamed for that. By the same token, it's like a quarterback. The band can sound great and you get all the accolades because you're the singer. So navigating that, and also being a female singer, can you talk about those dynamics as well? What does it mean for a female singer? Maybe you could be sexualized, or all these other different things that come with being a female singer. So
dang, I gotta write down the question. I'll be bringing it like 3-part questions. Fabulous questions, by the way, really good. Okay, the first question: being on stage, I will hire B musicians, but I prefer my A musicians. If I have to hire a C musician, I can't do the gig. That's number one, because it's an experience. Like you said, I'm very rhythmic and I'm in tune to what the band is doing. So we're all interplay. It's an experience. And so they have to be on a certain level, and we all might mess up here or there, but overall, we're just really having a good time and connecting and listening to each other and making this beautiful music. So I think that answered your question. Yes, I'm up front. I'm getting blamed if this knucklehead is not on his A game. Tasia Veal will tell you there's been times I've been in rehearsals and the cats didn't know the music, and they're acting like, I probably called you, Tyrone, and said, this is what happened. This was horrible. They disrespected me because I'm a woman. So Tasia's a bass player in town, fabulous. If you don't know Tasia Veal, you should look her up. She's awesome. And she'll hit me and she'll say, Rhonda, that dude, he's taking advantage of you. He didn't know the music. He got on the call to talk to somebody else because he didn't know the chords. You need to stop playing the song during the rehearsal because they're supposed to know it. Rehearsal's not practice. And I was like, amen, Tasia. So she helped me to be able to navigate that better, because I'm just trying to be nice, and here's some wine, and I mean, not wine, here's something to drink, some libations, and here's some food.
Wine is okay. Wine is okay.
That's why to go get in your car and go. Uh-oh, Tyrone. There's an open spot on the gig for you.
But, Ron is really good about getting the food for the band, and I'm just trying to make sure everybody's comfortable and making sure they get paid right away. But you got to come with integrity. You have to want to play these songs. You have to pay homage to this original material. And I've done shows in other states, and people have just massacred my song. And I'm like, this is horrible. What covers do you know? Let's just play some covers, because you clearly did not respect this music.
Well, how do you feel about that? I mean, I know the show must go on, right? That's the biggest thing. So you care about your audience, right? But in your mind while you're performing, what are you thinking about, like, the cats, especially if the cats can play the covers and they sound great and everybody's like, that band is fantastic. In your mind, you're like, these people didn't even learn my music. You know what I'm saying?
That's happened a few times to me. One show, I think we were in Rhode Island, and then another show in New Jersey where my whole family was there, and it was just guitar and percussion. And this guitar player didn't learn any of the music, and he had charts too. And he really punked me. And he's playing the songs, and he's like, in rehearsal, he's like, yeah, this chart isn't right. And I said, but you didn't even listen to the music. and he's playing it. This is a good song. This is really good. I'm like, yeah, it's good. You didn't learn it. And then he said, who he said to Ron, who is she? Why don't I know her? Just didn't respect who I was. Right. And then another show real quick, get there. This gentleman is like, I love Isaac Hayes, the bass player. I love his music. I love your music. You're great. And we actually literally missed the plane. The flight was canceled. So we had to drive in the snow to Rhode Island, changed in the car. The whole crowd was there because I guess there was nothing to do that night. So the place was packed out. People sitting on the floor, wall to wall. I literally come in like the 5 Heartbeats, like Leon, and went to the back. The bass player is like, love your music. I got you. I was like, great. No rehearsal. We're sitting up there and we're playing. And I'm like, this is horrible. And I'm just looking at Ron. People are sitting on the floor in front of me. I looked at Ron. Ron was like, I don't know. So I could tell the guitar player was good. And I stopped the band and I just taught him the line. And I broke it down and I sang a cappella with him and then brought in different instruments. And in answer to your question, that's how I navigated that, because that audience came to hear us and hear me. And I'm from Atlanta and I can't get up there and say, I'm sorry, they don't know my music. They had a great show. They bought a gang of CDs. It was so awesome. It was one of the best shows we ever had. Wow. But I was sweating bullets. I felt embarrassed. The experience, it was tough. So yes, I'm up there. We're up front. We get a lot of heat. But to your point, I'm nothing without the great band. If it's a great band, everybody's having a super experience, and the audience should be eating out of my hand, and I should be eating out of their hand.
Nice.
That's, you know,
sexism?
How do you
something about sexism?
Yeah, if you want to go there, it's up to you. You know,
nah, go ahead, Chris. What were you going to ask?
I was just going to say, you know, psychologically though, that how do you, you know, after that, you know, something like that happens, what are you thinking about what you're doing? I mean, are you going through that? What am I doing? Why am I doing this? What is, I mean, you
why
know,
won't they learn my music? What's wrong? What do I do? Cover?
Well, I mean, because you know, sometimes you're in that situation, and it's weird because sometimes you might even have a tendency to blame. Maybe it was something that you did, even though it wasn't. It was clearly on somebody else, but you do tend to, you're like, man,
like,
what am I?
Is there something I could have done differently?
Yeah, is there something? What could I have done? What is, you know, what goes through your head after an experience?
She adjusted her seat, Chris. This I know this look. She adjusted.
No. I was gonna say it makes me think that I'm not consistent. And people don't get to always hear me at my best. And that's a problem for me, because I know at some of these shows, you don't know who's in the audience and who's watching you. And I've done some shows where it just wasn't great. And they knew it, but I don't think they saw that the band wasn't great. And I don't want to be in a different city not being able to be Rhonda Thomas. And I learned that I had to be really selective of what shows I do. Even here in Atlanta, you don't see me performing a whole lot because I don't want to oversaturate the market. I want people to come out to my show when I need them to come out. But what's that sound I hear? Oh, I heard something going. Okay, my bad. Let me continue. So I feel like it made me feel like I didn't want to do this anymore. And I know I asked Ron to pull back on these shows where we had the opportunity to travel to this city and that state. But if the music wasn't going to be respected and if I wasn't going to look a certain way, I just couldn't do it. And it really brought me down.
And just for clarification's sake, Ron is your manager?
Yes, my manager.
Oh.
Stop it.
Well, we're not gonna go there yet.
Okay.
But you thrown out his name a lot, and people might be like, who is this Ron person?
Yes, Ron Smith.
Yes, the Ron manager. The other thing is there, so I don't want to make you think that you haven't had the other situation too, because there was a situation where we had a gig with you in North Carolina. I think we had 2 gigs, and something happened to your bass player. I think your bass player got sick or something, and you were like, "Man, Tyrone, what bass player can we find at the last minute?" And I said, "There's this cat named Dexter Whitaker." I was like, I played a gig with him, 1 gig, and this dude knew all the music.
Yeah,
it's like you can
be smiling,
right? And so, can you talk about how it feels on the flip side when you have somebody like that come in and deal with the situation?
Definitely gave me hope for musicianship and professionalism, knowing people like you all and being able to pull into North Carolina. We didn't have a rehearsal. We just did a sound check. Dexter knew every single song, every single riff. And those songs were complicated songs.
Yeah.
And he has been my bass player ever since when we can get him, because he's, out on the road doing his thing too. But that let me know that there are levels to this thing. And you got to get the right people, and you have to treat your people right and respected.
Well, that's big. Yeah, that's big.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's enough about you. No, I'm just kidding. Let's talk about your mentor, Isaac Hayes, and you spent 11 years in Isaac's band, and he's one of our. I can remember my mother having Hot Buttered Soul on the turntable when I was, and just the album cover is still ingrained in my, in my brain. I think that was 1972.
Okay.
If I'm correct. And so how did you, I know you kind of gave a little teaser. You said you were singing at a jam session, and they must have been looking for somebody. I mean, that's another thing, is you never know who's there. You never know who's looking.
That's right.
And so you said you were at a jam session just singing, and someone came up to you, and tell a little bit about that story.
So I was at the jam session, and I have
what jam session was it?
It's a good question. Maybe Cafe 290.
Okay.
Maybe Cafe 290 back in the day. Okay. And so the person didn't come up to me. They actually got my number from someone else and called me the next day and asked me if I wanted to sing with Isaac Hayes. And I said no.
Oh.
I said no. I had just started a job as a speech pathologist in Atlanta with Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, and it was full time. And I could not just run off and go sing with Isaac Hayes across the globe. So a couple of days went by, and I mentioned it to my mom, and my mom said, "Are you crazy?" And I said, "No, ma'am, no." What? And she said, "You go back and you tell them that you're going to be traveling around the world with this artist, and they're going to love that. They're going to support you." She was right. I told them, and they were so excited for me, and was with him for 11 years.
So what was your instinct when you said no? Just because your job, or was there any fear there, or
straight job and responsibilities? Mm-hmm. And I gave a commitment to my job and my benefits and my bills. Right. And I had already told them that I was going to do this. I didn't think twice about it. But God had other plans.
It was yeah, because it was still there after 2 days.
It was still there. And then we were out on the road, and it was a beautiful experience, because he was just such, I say this all the time, just a cool brother. The guy that you saw, that you heard with that voice, that's who Isaac Hayes was. Right. He would shout me out at the gigs. I duetted with him on his song "Do Your Thing." And he would say my name and mention my website and allow me to sell CDs at the gig. Who does that at that level?
Wow.
From the stage in front of millions of people. Millions. Well, thousands at hundreds of thousands at the Montreux Jazz Festival. He's saying my website.
To be a background singer, I think that's frowned on these days. with younger people that they always want to be quote unquote the star or the lead. Two questions. What have you learned being a background singer that has helped you be a lead singer? And should people just aspire to be a lead singer as a vocalist? What's your opinion on that?
Let me tell you, Vocal Musicians XP, you all ask the dope questions. You are on your A game. This is great. Okay, so back to your question. It's a completely different beast being a background singer. You definitely have to humble yourself. You sometimes you're pledged. they're really trying to haze you. I was hazed. Hey, I was hazed. I was hazed because they're trying to get you off of that pedestal of being the person, because you're up front and you might be able to bend some notes here and there and color some things. As a background singer, you're listening to everybody and you're blending and you're one sound. So there is no showcasing yourself unless you're singing the duet with Isaac Hayes, and then you can do all your stuff there. But as a background singer, it's a whole nother skill that's really important to learn and know. And you can work and make great money being a background singer. Sometimes it's less pressure because you're not upfront and you're not having to pay the band and do all of these other extra tasks that you have to do. So I learned a lot being a background singer. Even with Jiva, we got to blend and sing together like a Manhattan Transfer, but I had a lot of lead vocal moments. With Isaac Hayes, before I had that solo, I'm just singing with the background. Shaft, shut your mouth. You dig it? John Shaft. Hey, guilty? I said accused. I mean, doing my little moves, making my money, and loving it. Really exciting and being embraced by the audience and learning this other craft of blending and holding notes. And you can't have vibrato at the end of your notes if you're singing with two other people. You have to control all of that. You're out on the road. You are having late nights and early mornings. You got to make sure you're not eating all that food backstage, or eating the chocolate that's there, or having too much, I don't know, dairy. Just because there's all cool stuff in the green room, that's not for you to partake in if you're supposed to be on your A game and you have to sing.
Did somebody teach you that, or you just kind of picked that up, or you learned from somebody? How did that come about?
I didn't know that before because I wasn't doing those type of gigs as a lead singer, and my gigs were far and few between. Out on the road with Isaac, I was out literally like every weekend. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or for a week, and we're traveling overseas to Italy or Paris or something. And that's where I learned it, because I get motion sickness and I had to learn how to fly and be able to be roadworthy and not like, oh my gosh, I'm sick. I didn't want to be that weak link. So to this day, I know how to get on the plane and zone and fall right asleep. I just taught myself that. And yes, you're on airplanes. The air isn't always pure. You're liable to get sick out on the road because you're finished. You're off the stage at 11, 12, 1 a.m. and you have to be up at 4. So you have to be healthy. And Isaac taught us that because he became vegan at one point. He was doing different cleanses all the time. He had his juicer with him. And I even juiced with him for a while. So he was all about a healthy lifestyle.
Wait a minute. Chef was a vegan?
Yeah.
Shut your mouth.
What about those chocolate salty balls, though?
Oh, that song. Okay. Can I tell you about that song?
Well, let's not go there yet. Hang on.
Yes. Okay. Let's wait.
And then we'll go there because we got to talk about that. But it sounds like the discipline that you acquired during, just learning how to be a professional, right? We think you did gigs, you did your own thing, you were, hiring and firing and doing all those things. But when you get with the cat on that level is when you really learn, okay, this is what it takes. This is the big leagues. You know,
No excuses.
there's nothing that can prepare you for that, right? It's just about once you get there, it's sink or swim, because ain't nobody got time to wait around. Ain't nobody got, it's like you either get it or you kind of don't. And
they'll get rid of you. If you don't get it, they'll get rid of
it's
you.
just, and that's the, you know, we've gotten away from some of that, right? Like in terms of just even, we're all, you know, the name of this show is Local Musicians, right? Because it's on some level, it's something we all have to make a living locally, but that doesn't mean we're sacrificing professionalism or being world-class musicians, right? So the expectation is still the same, right? Even though we're here. Mm-hmm. And those things I think are there, it's becoming, you know, some rocky waters in trying to, unless you have older musicians that are in your band or you're playing with, but it's harder to get the younger musicians to understand this is what it takes. Is this what you want to do or not? I don't know if you know, Rhonda, have you hired younger musicians in your band? What's been your experience about that with them?
Coming to their house for the rehearsal and they're smoking weed and at the door, and then we're sitting and trying to go over the song and they're all high and whack. Whack.
Right.
Did they learn the music?
Barely. So they did one gig with me and then I don't smoke weed. I'm not about that life, but I'm not putting anyone down that does.
Right. That's right. Yeah.
You got to be on point. You don't come to the door and I'm
chill out, Rhonda. Chill out. Breathe this instead of new life. Breathe this.
This was a reggae gig? No, it wasn't a reggae gig. Oh.
Breathe this, Rhonda. Yeah. It will give you new life.
But I've had some young musicians that have been fabulous. Right. And Ron Smith again, he and Rick Cook, they nurtured these young men and women at the time, kids, in a group called Audio Wolf. And they instilled, they instilled in them all of this great musicianship.
Well, I mean, Morgan Guerin is
also Curtis and Danny White.
Right, yeah.
On a jazz festival gig. And
absolutely. That's probably
Kevin Oliver Jr.
Yeah, because we were Kevin, because we were Tyrone, weren't we? We were like, man, what's the last young cats that are doing? And those are really kind of the last ones. Mm-hmm.
What's the group that Danny is with? Ron, text
Ghost
me.
Ghost Note.
Yeah.
And we're gonna have Danny on it at some point. Kevin, Morgan, we're gonna have all of them on at some point.
Good. So I see that, but to your point, people poured into them to make them who they are, to add to who they are.
But this is what we've been talking about, is you're not going to get it unless you're around older cats. You have to be around older guys. You have to be around older cats, older musicians, and you have to listen.
Or seasoned musicians too.
Which generally is right. Yeah, you can, but you have to be around people that have some experience. I'm not talking about just they've done a few gigs. Like this is what they do, and this is what they've been doing.
And you got to
for a long time.
You got to take all their idiosyncrasies and quirks with it, and not look at that and say they're treating me like a little kid or treating me like this.
Just like Rhonda was saying, when she was doing the back, there was haze that she was getting. Look, you have to get put through a certain. Nobody's gonna roll out the red carpet for you.
That's right. I got hazed, y'all.
You know, and even though we may not necessarily live by that, we don't want to. You know, we're not going to try to make them quit or anything.
Right.
But you still have to see, okay, is this really what you want to do? And also, can you take a little bit of, you know, because every situation that, you know, that I'm in, or Tyra, there is some kind of banter going on. You have to grow thick skin. Somebody is going to cut. You're going to get cut up at some. It's all in love, but you have to understand that that's something that you have to take, and nobody's doing that just to just to be mean. It's like they're trying to toughen you up a little bit, So
yeah, I'm about to say something that's probably not popular, and it's not everybody, but you have a lot of church cats that come into the professional. I don't know, you all
right,
can say it
right,
better, but they're kind of just playing by ear. And
right.
in fact, the guy that was smoking weed, he was a church cat, but he wasn't taking the job seriously enough.
He was trying to get the most high.
There you go. So you know what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying that
I do.
Come from the church are not professional. That's not what I'm saying. But there's just a different level of freedom, I think, that you have in that arena sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes, depending on the church and depending on the situation.
Well, sometimes the church, and oftentimes, well, a lot of church, I was going to say the black church, but we know from the black church that if you're talented, they look over a lot of things. They're like, okay, hey, they're not gonna show up with the right kind of clothes on, but they can sure play, that organ, whatever, So sometimes, and singers too, it's a different discipline sometimes. Even though I think church musicians are touring now, they're starting to get a whiff of what you're supposed to do. But
true.
That environment sometimes, and Corey Henry talked about how he was playing an organ, they was calling him Master Henry. And sometimes in the church, we just blow up people's egos and say, you're this on this level.
Right.
And even though you can play or you can sing, you don't know what it's like to be on stage, interact, or the microphone goes out, or all these different things. How do you handle those situations? And I've seen you, Rhonda, recently in a situation where it could have messed somebody else up. And you were like, on stage, you just played that bad boy off, and you were like, okay, da 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 da.
I know what you're talking about, yeah.
Right. But one thing I do know is if you ever introduce me, my full name, I know I must have did something wrong. Hey, everybody, give it up for Tyrone Jackson, like that. I know I did wrong. But the audience would never know that you were like, perturbed about the situation. But what do you feel about mentoring other people or people going through? And like Chris said, maybe we've gone through that, and we're not saying that everybody should go through that type of hazing. But I've been fired from a gig when I was younger, and when the person told me why I was being fired, that meant more to me than somebody just saying, hey, you sound great, and I never get a call from them again. And it pains me as a band leader to have that conversation and fire somebody, let somebody go who's younger, but I make sure I tell them why. I haven't had to do it in a while, but have you ever had to do something like that where you hired somebody and you said, listen, you're talented, but this is why you can't do the gig?
Yes, and they wasn't necessarily because they were young; they just weren't professional.
Right.
And this person, I won't say their name, I won't say what instrument, they're on the scene and they are very professional, but on a particular gig, they were just had a lot of lip, they just weren't being professional. They didn't really know the music. And I did speak to that person afterwards, and I said, I just don't think you respected me.
Right.
And he understood, and I didn't call him for a while. Then I called him again, and he was on his A game then.
Beautiful, beautiful. So those are the moments right there where you see learning takes place, because it is our job as not necessarily older, but more experienced to disseminate this knowledge, to pass it along. And we want to sometimes, like that old adage, you could bring a horse to water, but you can't make him
drink.
But is somebody bringing the horse to the water? Somebody's got to do that, right?
That's good, Ty. That's good. Yeah. I don't have it in my heart to really haze anybody the way that I was hazed. I can't. What's the word you say? Vibe. I'm not gonna like fully vibe them, but I'm gonna be stern enough and let them know and kill with kindness. But I don't see the need to be mean or treat somebody like that. But some people, I guess, they just don't get it unless you give it to them like that. So I don't know some people's personalities.
Right.
Mm.
Cool. Did you think you learned how to be a band leader watching Isaac Hayes? Did it have anything to do with anything?
Definitely. I also learned that mistakes happen on all levels. I remember he traveled with his sound team, engineer, lighting, and I remember one time we were at maybe Westbury Music Fair or something, and the sound was sounding crazy, and I was like, wow, this does happen on all levels. And I guess I was just naive and thinking that it just didn't happen. When you're on a big stage, it's going to be great,
Right, everything is
yeah,
always perfect.
sure. But I mean, you look at that situation with Babyface and Anita Baker and how they ended up not being able to tour together because of something that was going on a technology front, and then Babyface couldn't even perform at all. So imagine on that level, the opening act, who is a babyface, can't even perform because of what's going on from a technical standpoint.
Right.
So I learned that mistakes can happen. I learned that it's important to be prepared, and it's how you handle the situation when you're in it. Isaac was just so respectful to everyone. He was no nonsense, but he said hello and talked to everybody, no matter what their job was. And that's important too, because everybody's working together as a team. The janitor who's cleaning, who's cleaning the bathrooms to make sure that we're all safe. We learned that from our workers. I know Ron's gonna be like, why are you rambling? COVID, the essential workers. So essential workers are so important, and there's no one that is beneath us. And like you said, we tend to put people on pedestals, and anyway, I could go on and on about that. I learned.
Were you a little starstruck when you first met him?
No.
I didn't want to do the gig. Remember? No, I ain't doing this.
She's like, man,
My father was.
Well, because
hey, what? Right. I don't think I was starstruck. He didn't know my name for the first 4 years.
Oh wow.
He really didn't know my name. Yeah. I mean, and then I walked past him on the set at the Today Show, and I had on his dress, and one of the guitar players said, he asked about you. And I was like, oh, he would just go, hey, baby girl, how you doing? He didn't know my name first 4 years.
You playing with Black Moses, and he don't know your name?
He did not. And then he became like a godfather, like a big brother and uncle to me.
Wow.
So I really appreciate it. I miss him. I miss his laugh. I miss his vibe. I miss being out on the road with him. I don't miss singing Chocolate Salty Balls.
Okay.
That song was just crazy to me. I was like, what was saying about balls?
We got to go there, though. So I was playing with some guys who were really into South Park. And they were like, man, Chocolate Salty Ball. They were singing this. And I was like, man, what are y'all talking about? And they were like, this is the Chef song, Chef on. And I was like, I didn't know much about. I mean, I knew it was like this animated, but I didn't know. And then I was like, wait a minute, Isaac Hayes is Chef on South Park? I started watching, and I just became instant fan,
right up your alley.
And I was like, and then I saw him being interviewed about when they brought him in, which was hilarious. If you can look at anybody, if you haven't seen this, look it up on YouTube, because he talks about they gave him the script for I guess for some of Chef's lines, and he was like, you guys think you're gonna get away with this? Like and they were like, and they were just like, he said that they were just all curled up in the corner, like waiting for Isaac to just like smash him over the head, like, you guys are crazy. But he said he went for it. He said, if you guys think you can get away with this,
I'm down.
I'm down with it. And there is no greater, the irony of that whole is just like, wow.
Yeah.
So Chocolate Salty Balls comes out, and you guys start performing it in the set. Okay. So talk about just, hey, were you hip to that at all? Or was it just like, woof, we're doing this song, sing it?
I was new to the whole South Park thing. I grew up on Isaac Hayes, Black Moses. So I didn't know. I didn't.
It's so out, man. It is so out that he would do
Yeah.
it.
I just saw the paraphernalia. I hadn't even seen the show. I didn't know. And I'm like, he's a chef too? What's this? I didn't know. And then he literally had a restaurant in Memphis, and he actually had a cookbook. And he had Chocolate Salty Balls in the cookbook. And when he would sing the song, he would say, it's actually a recipe. It's a recipe, y'all. Chocolate Salty Balls. They're real fudgy. And I was like, this is crazy.
Wow.
So it was the dichotomy of it all. We'd be at a show, a soul show with the Black people. They're ready to hear.
They had no,
they're looking at us like, what? And then we're overseas with all the huge white audiences, and they're loving it. Suck on my chocolate salty ball. And I remember we did Comedy Central, and that was the first time I sang it, and I couldn't say that. I was like, I have little nieces. They're going to be watching me. So I would just say, he'd say, suck on my chocolate salty balls, and we're supposed to say,
put them in your mouth and suck them.
yes!
Put them in your mouth. I remember we would walk around. We would just walk around and only say that, like, put them in your mouth and suck them. Put them in your mouth and suck
Crazy
them.
thing is, I'm looking at Rhonda's face.
People would just be like, what are you talking about, man?
I'm looking at Rhonda's face, and Rhonda doesn't even want to say it right now. Rhonda's like,
I know. I couldn't do it. So he would say, wait, what did he say? Suck on my chocolate salty balls. We go, stick them in your mouth. Stick them in your mouth. And then he said, stick them in your mouth then. And we'd have to go. We'd have to say, suck them. I didn't say that. I said, duck them. I knew the sound guy. I said, there's two other people singing the S. I can say, duck them. I said, every night. And then the sound guy would say, you're not going to say something. I said, I'm never going to say that. You work it out on the board. I swear.
I'm literally crying over here.
Duck 'em. Suck on my chocolate salty ball. Stick them in your mouth. Stick them in your mouth and duck 'em.
Hey, Rhonda, stop, please. I am going to die on this stage. Please stop.
All right, but it's the truth. You can't make that up. Can't make it up.
As prim and proper as your mom is.
I know. To see if the texts are coming through.
Did you
no text.
Did you tell your mom, hey, Chris,
he said I'm watching, but that was a while ago.
Did your mom?
Where'd Chris go?
He had to get out. He was laughing through it.
I know I'm getting hot.
Hey, question. So did you like preempt your mom to that?
Ooh, I don't remember. I'm sure we had the conversation. I really don't remember. I'm sure we did.
Oh, wow.
And we would always say, okay, we're going to this casino. We're going to this jazz festival. Do we sing this song? Hey, welcome back, Chris.
I was about to introduce Rhonda as my co-host for the local musicians. I thought you had literally
Oh my God.
Can't make it up, Chris. It's real.
Oh, yes.
I know you got me crying. I couldn't even say it. You're right, Tyrone. I was like, nah.
But I know you're like, what is this phenomenon that's making it do this song? You know what I'm saying? So
right. It was huge. They loved it.
Loved it. He was a great character on South Park. I mean, he embraced it, the role, you know. Chef, man.
So genius, man.
Yeah.
That just,
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh man.
So now you're doing your own shows, almost exclusively now. What is that like? And I hate to ask what's coming up. That's usually Chris's job, but
he still has to get it together.
what's
I'm
coming up?
still on suck 'em.
Duck 'em.
Duck 'em,
Duck 'em.
shuck 'em, suck 'em, suck 'em.
I guess I could have said shuck 'em, huh? That probably would have been better. The essay.
Yeah, you could have done that.
I didn't think about that.
So what do you have? Let's segue into, you have like 6, 7 albums?
6
albums. Just a little promotion. You got, do you have the High Museum that's coming up, or you did that already?
I did that a couple Fridays ago. It was magical. Nice. I really thought they were going to be listening to the first set with the straight ahead jazz, and then by the second set they say they talk a little bit more, and in the end they're kind of mingling and talk.
Right.
They were loving it because, like I said, we gave them everything from straight ahead to dance hall to Afro beats to just everything, and it was like the DeBarge video. To the beat of the rhythm of the night. They were all out there jamming and having dance battles, and it was great. I tap danced, I hula hooped. It was great.
How does it feel to have an audience respond to something that you curate? You know, you go through all the mental gymnastics to put something together, and when it comes together like that, how does it feel?
So let me start by saying the band was phenomenal. The musicianship was great. They took the time to learn like 27 songs because it was 3 sets, which I don't usually do. I don't think any of us really do that too much anymore.
At the High Museum, that's what you do.
I didn't know going in. I was like, 6 to 10? How does that work?
Exactly.
God, there's something wrong with my paperwork here?
Exactly. So I was like, what? But so some people will do like what? 5, 6 songs in a set and just kind of stretch it out and give everybody solos. Not us. We were hitting them because, you know, I'm going to give you a show. And so my mom was out there dancing. It was so much fun. And yes, to look up the different levels of the high, and people are looking down and they're not talking. They're all in, all different ages, all different nationalities. This white guy came up and he started pop locking and all of this. And then this brother came out and he was battling him, and this Asian guy came out and he was doing his thing. And I was like, ting-a-ling-a-ling, school bell a ring, to fight for dumpling, a booyaka booyaka for shabba ranking, shabba. I mean, we did everything.
Nice.
Yeah, the environment has changed quite a bit at the
It was
high.
wonderful, but we did the straight ahead too. And we sang Sarah Vaughan, Ella Fitzgerald, Billie Holiday. I mean, we gave it to them.
We got a question right here.
Who's in your band, Rhonda? That night it was Tasia Veal on bass, Tony Castillo on keys, John.
TC.
Yeah.
Shout out to Tony Castillo, huh?
TC.
John Henry was on drums.
Oh, I hadn't seen John in a long
time.
I know.
Netta Finley was on vocals.
Okay.
And oh my gosh, who was the guitar player? The guitar player was someone that Tasia got us. Ron, send me the guitar player's name. I forgot his name, but that was the band.
Wow.
And then we had a guest, Curtis Oluwomi, played trumpet. He came in and played on we did High Life by Marcus Miller.
Yeah,
Kalaba me. Oh, while I took a kalaba me. We were jamming on that. And then my friend Jay White came in, he tap danced with me.
Okay. And you tap danced as well.
Yeah,
Dustin, Ron says.
Dustin Lynch. Thank you.
Okay. Oh, I know Dustin Lynch.
You do? Okay. Yeah, Tracy brought him in.
Nice. Okay, what you have coming up?
I will be recording a dance album.
What?
I come from the late days of the Paradise Garage, but it's not a house album. It's dance music. I also sing with this group, the String Cheese Incident. Yeah. They're a jam band out of Colorado. Yeah. The percussionist with String Cheese was the percussionist with Isaac Hayes. So he brought me in to sing with them from time to time. And we do this show called Halloween, and it's in Live Oak, Florida. There's 30,000 people there, and it's a whole nother audience that I'm wanting to tap into because they just love the music. And I know they're waiting for me to sing my own songs. I've performed with them at the Fox, what's that? Sweetwater Brewery Festival, Chastain, Red Rocks. So some really great opportunities there singing music I love. And when I've sung with them before, they've had different artists on their shows. The Marleys have been on there. Anderson .Paak. Nice. Fisher was singing with us when we performed with them a couple years ago. Ann Hart was singing with us. So the festival, 3 or maybe 6 different stages. Strings Trees Incident is on the main stage, and they do 3 shows, 3 nights, 3 shows each night.
Wow.
They're phenomenal. They're playing music from Manhattan Transfer to some of their own music. I mean, they're playing Birdland, and then they're playing Led Zeppelin. So awesome. Nice. But mine is dance music under the name Red Dragonfly.
Oh, okay. Red Dragonfly. Okay. And what's your website communication wise?
Yes. So my Instagram and Facebook, I am Rhonda Thomas, RHONDA, Rhonda Thomas, and my website, rhondasings.com.
I thought you were going to bust into the groove, you know.
www.rhondasings.com. What's the website? www.duckum. That's the remix.
That's the remix. Duckum. Not going to say it.
That's right.
Man, this has been incredible. Great just to catch up and you know, hear what you're up to and also hear some unexpected things that you know about your jam session. Don't, man, stop, man. I finally got it out of my system. You're gonna start up again. But
we need to do some music together. The 3 of us need to do some more things together. Tyrone is on, like he said, 2 of the albums, and we also wrote Doot Doot together. You talk about Doot Doot.
Doot Doot is on your album too, a different version, right?
It's pretty similar, but yes, it's the live version.
Yeah, the live version. I like the live version.
I do too, because I like how it starts. Yeah,
because you came up with that too, didn't you?
I don't know, maybe. It starts
let's do this.
Or the bridge.
Let's do this. So we'll bring you back for a part 2.
Okay.
Like I said, time flies. We're at 1 hour and 40 minutes. Wow. See, it just.
Oh yeah, then we'll talk about Doot Doot the next time.
Yeah, we could do that.
And also, you know, I want to get your take on writing, and
I have to be inspired to write. So hopefully by that time I'll have written a whole lot.
Yeah. So, you know, and there's, you know, some other things. So we'll bring you back for a part 2, and we'll talk about, you know, a bunch of other things. Oh, my bad. You already got it.
Ron's posting stuff. Yes, I'm performing at the Try Music Festival in June 8th. Myself, John B, and Algebra. Yes.
Okay. Where's that? Where's the Try Music Festival? Where's that at?
Powder Springs. It's a park in Powder Springs.
Okay.
I could tell you exactly where it is. We said June 8th. It is at Thurman Springs Park in Powder Springs, Marietta.
Nice.
Cool. Well, we have enjoyed you, sister. We just you know, we go. I mean, it's funny. It's like we go way. You want to say that we go way back, but we do. It's like, way back. At this point, 98. I mean, those late 90s. Those. I mean, it's.
Yeah, because I moved here in 96. Yeah, I'm still a New Yorker though. I was just in Brooklyn last week, so I'm an apple peach cobbler. Get it?
So.
Boom, boom. Yeah.
You're so committed to that, Chris.
Hey, so our brother Tom Gross in Tom Gross fan says, "What was that incident?"
The string cheese incident.
String cheese incident.
Oh yes, the SCI string cheese incident. Look them up; they're fabulous.
All right. So
thank you all for having me on your show. I'm so excited about what you're doing, and I've checked out a few of your shows, and I've sent you information. What was the group I sent you?
Yeah, the
hip hop group.
Hip hop group. Yeah. Shoot.
I sent it to both of you. I think.
Yes. Not so. Starts with an S, right?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
I know we got to go, but I want you to check them out at some point because they really are good.
Yeah.
Oh, you put that in the comments.
Coast Contra.
No S. Okay.
No S. Yeah. So what I was saying was, I love what you're doing. Thank you for including me. It's been nice to watch it from the other side while I'm cooking or cleaning and jumping in and making little comments here and there. But it's really cool to be on this side. You're really dope interviewers. You take the time to learn about the artist, and you come up with
tax season, y'all. Tax season.
Right.
Please don't talk about that.
The audit. The artist. You come up with really interesting questions, and maybe it's because you are musicians and professionals. So I love your banter, your interaction. So keep doing what you're doing, guys.
Thank you.
Well, like I said, we hated to wait as long as we did, because when we had Al on, you were one of the first people to come in and comment. Yeah, I think you were on a walk or something, and you were checking it out. So
I was.
Yeah.
I actually was on a Rhonda Thomas gig on Rhonda. I don't know if you remember this. We were doing Wednesday Wind Down in Centennial Park, and I'm playing keyboards, and in the audience is Al Smith walking toward the stage.
Yeah.
Right as we're playing, was it Breathe New Life? That's one of the ones he produced.
Kiss Your Smile, I think.
Kiss Your Smile. And I see Al Smith coming up, and I'm like, oh snap.
He's about to jack me.
He looked like he's about to jack me up. Like, why am I not on this song on my own, the song that I wrote, kind of thing, right? So he comes up, and this was one of the greatest compliments you ever had. Say, hey man, I've heard a lot of people play this song with Rhonda and jacked it up. He's like, you're the first person I heard play the correct chords on the song. I was like,
he sure did say that, and he meant that, and it was true. Yeah. And that was magical. Was that the day it rained and stormed?
It rained and still
we had to evacuate the stage and run, and people were just soaking wet, and they all came back and watched the show.
Yeah.
I think I sold 130 CDs that night. That's the most. So, yeah. Wow. Rhonda, tell you.
Record? Is that a record?
I think so, yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Haven't sold that many. Ain't nobody buying those CDs. I gotta write a book, do something.
This has been the funniest show ever. If we got to get you on, because you even got into the camera. Ain't nobody buying those CDs
because they're not. That they're not. I got all these CDs in that room back there. Anyway.
Well, it's been our pleasure, Rhonda. Great to see you.
Yeah.
Talk to you, and
thank you, gentlemen.
We will reconvene this very, very, very soon. So shout out to Ron. Good to hear from you in the comments, brother. And
Ron's still on his job, huh? Ron's. What about when in November?
Man, leave the man alone. He
played in November.
They work in
Virginia Beach.
They work together. Leave him alone, bro. Leave him alone.
Nah, he's on his
job because I forgot to mention that.
What you're supposed to do, man.
True.
Remember, you're doing a collaboration with.
You should get him on this show. He has a lot to talk about.
I'll tell you.
All right, Rhonda.
Mwah, mwah, mwah. Thank your audience.
See you soon. All right. Bye-bye. All right.
Take care.
You too.
Dude, that was so funny, bro. You have to take yourself out of the frame, bro.
Put them in your mouth and suck them.
Did you see her face though? Her face like, I will not sing that. Where did this come from, bro?
Bro.
Oh
man.
Hey, bro, look at this. Look at who's here, bro. When you wipe your eyes, look at this.
What's that?
Put your glasses on for this.
Oh. What's up, Black?
Andrew Black. Whoa. It's been a long time, brother.
My dude.
Yeah.
My dude. AB, man. I mean, Isaac, man. I mean, like I said, I remember, I can remember the cover, man, with seeing that cover and the bald head with the butter, bro, with the hot
Right,
buttered soul, man.
right. But he had a
You
chain
know,
on too, didn't he? He had
that
like
was
a
before
chain.
the Black Moses, man.
Right,
I mean,
right.
he was serious, man.
And
And
he had orchestra, everything, bro.
well, that also just all the stack stuff
Oh
that
yeah,
he
yeah.
wrote and produced, and the Barkays, and you
Barry
know,
White.
he's man.
Barry White and that Love Orchestra, Love Unlimited Orchestra, he did all of that for Barry White. So
You
yeah,
know,
man.
he's
Nice stuff
a
too.
oh man, met him one time. Um, but just as she said, he was one of those guys you could it just he was interested, he was more interested in the people around her, even though he didn't know her name for 4 years, she
Right.
said.
Right.
But I'm not
Baby
surprised.
girl.
It's like he got so many people in this, it's like you
Yeah, yeah,
can't,
yeah.
you try to get to him, but um, so he was just I mean, he's missed, and even, you know, all of those great, he was the king of, to me, he was the king of the long jam, bro.
Yeah.
Those long intros. The intro be 5 minutes
Bruh.
before you even get to the one side of the record is one song or two songs.
Bruh. Did your dad have 8 tracks, bruh?
Yes.
The
Absolutely.
iconic one. Most people know about 8 tracks were like just black with whatever label on it. That Shaft one was blue, and I think he had a red one too. It just stood out, bruh. And I want to hear that junk. My dad popped that junk in, and all you
And it's orchestration.
orchestrate, but
Everything is orchestrated,
I
man.
never knew how you got the string section to swing like that. Because they, if you ever dealt with a classical orchestra, it's hard for them to get to not play
That feel.
everything. Yes, the feel, because they want to play everything so precise. But he was able to get them to go like the back phrase and stuff. I was like, wow, how's he getting to do that? So yeah, like you said, all that was orchestrated and arranged and stuff. And you can't do that now because they say, hey, you only got 3 minutes and 46 seconds to do a song for radio anyway, which that's a different medium now.
Right.
But people don't know how to do an intro anymore, bro.
Man, those intros, man.
Intros, bro.
What's the
Temptation. September? I know. It was the 3rd of September when they are done. My dad
that's
died.
you talking about
Papa was a Rolling Stone. Papa was a Rolling Stone. Lenny, that's an iconic intro. Doom doo doom doom doo ba da dee da da doom da da. Maybe you never been in love before. You know what I'm saying? That kind of stuff.
Because people's attention span, dude.
They can't do it now.
They got no attention span, man.
Yeah.
There's one I can't think of what it is. But it's it's one of his icon. I mean, the bass line alone, and it sounds like it comes in a weird place. Let me see if I can find it here.
While you finding that, bro, right?
I mean, Walk On By, bro. His arrangement of Walk On By
really
is the look of. I mean, he did those backrack tunes, man.
Yeah.
That were.
I forgot about that record. That
Yes. Like 20-minute versions.
Yes, yeah.
Where is it, man?
Dude,
I'll have to look it up and find it.
So a friend of mine, a bass player, bro, he was telling me about the song by Donna Summer, "Last Dance," right? That intro got in, bro. So he said he was at a dance, bro, and he spotted this young lady in the audience. He's like, man, the whole time he wanted to dance with her, but he couldn't get the nerve up. So he's getting to the last song. He says, he goes up to her and says, hey, would you do this dance with me like that? She's like, yeah. Well, Last Dance starts off like a ballad, right? It's real slow. He said
Right.
he starts slow dancing. He said right when he's about to talk into her ear, that's when the Don the Summer goes gloom, gloom, gloom. Last dance. Starts getting away from it. He's like, oh man. He's like, she messed me up with that intro, man. I thought the intro was going to be like a ballad, bruh. And it went right into like a disco beat, bruh. That was hilarious to
Man.
me. Oh man.
Yeah, I can't find. I'll find it. I can't remember the name of the song, but it's one of those legendary. We'll discuss it later. But
Right.
let me ask you something, man. So I was reading. I can't even remember. You know how you just like you'll be somewhere, you'll hear somebody discussing a topic or, but I was thinking about after seeing, watching what, we had Jeff Sipe on last week,
Mhm.
and I started thinking about people that just seem to have their own concept
Mhm.
so together.
Mhm.
And then you have others who are a little more, I guess you could maybe say they might be a little more, I don't know what the well-rounded or versatile, or there's
Right.
other, connotations that you can throw in there. But then you have one people, but you have those group of people that are able to focus on a specific thing so intently,
Yeah.
right? And I started to look up and get, and just sort of read on different mindsets from, and so I started thinking about the singular focus versus multitasking.
Mhm.
And I'm more of definitely a multitasker. I can have,
with a hint of tunnel vision on certain things.
well, I'll get into something, but
Yeah.
it's not going to keep my attention for, it'll keep my, I mean, I don't know, whatever you consider a long, I guess, it's all relative to whatever whoever the person, I mean, a long time, it could be a month, it could be 2 months, it could be
But
3,
you're all in kind of person. Like
I'm all
if
in on something,
right,
but there's
right.
definitely going to be a time where I'm going to move on.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But some people, man, they're like, boom.
Singular focus, yeah. Locked in.
And I started to, just kind of, like I said, I was doing some reading about that, and
Mhm.
so I want to, maybe not tonight, but that's something I want us to talk a little bit about, because I think
Yeah.
in, in our field, we see, oh, I do this. You see guys that, hey, this is what they do. Boom, 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 boom. And then you have other people that are a little more, well, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this,
Right. Well,
Um,
I mean, you think about as an artist, like if you look at martial arts, right?
mhm,
There's schools and schools of thought, right?
right.
And you get somebody that comes along and says, hey, I'm gonna grab from this style, grab from that. And then some people's like, I'm only Shaolin, this is all I'm gonna be.
Mhm,
But they're all doing the same art form. And I think that as musicians, we take a little bit from everybody else's philosophy,
right.
or we gravitate towards somebody who has a similar philosophy. Like I'm an interactionist, music
Mhm,
wise.
right.
I don't take anything away from people who are specialists and who are like, hey, I'm the leader. Your job is to support me. I don't take
Right.
that away from that type of person. That's what they're bent to do and they love to do. That's not what I do. So if you think that you're going to come on my gig and just support me, that's not what I'm looking for. That might
Right.
be good for somebody else.
Right. Uh-oh. Now I know he paid his bill, but it looks like we have we've lost. I'm gonna give him 1 second. 3, 2, 1. All right, everybody. Well, I guess that's our key to to end this this episode here. It's a great episode. I was laughing so hard at the chef and talking about Isaac and the chef and Rhonda. Big ups to Rhonda for coming on and hanging out with us and giving her story and just telling us the great stories of her getting into the business and then eventually getting on with Isaac. And then we didn't get into much of her her master's is in with. I think is speech pathology. I think that's what it was, if I'm saying that incorrectly. Sorry, but I tried. But we want to thank everybody for coming in, hanging out with us. Andrew Black, good to see you in the chat, my man. Brad, John Lamatina, Tom, Ron, thanks for hanging out. Tia, Alona, great to see you. And thanks for chiming in. Alona Knopfler, vocalist extraordinaire, have spent a lot of time playing with this wonderful person and vocalist, and hopefully we can do something at some point again. But she says, can't believe I didn't know about this podcast was happening. Enjoying all of it. Thank you. So thanks for coming in and hanging out with us. Eric Fontaine, TC, Tony Castillo. Let's see. Richard Reed, thanks for hanging out. Misha. Let's see. Who else? My wife, Nia Tate. I missed that comment. Let's see. Mark Pothorser, Brian, John Liebman, everybody that hung out with us tonight. Share this, the show, our YouTube channel. Subscribe to the YouTube. That helps us out a lot. Like the videos, of course. Hit the notification bell, and that'll let you know when an episode, when we go live or when a new episode is dropping. We're putting up some new smaller clips of videos and shorts and stuff. We just kind of started working on that. Brian is helping us out with that, so thanks to him for helping us get more content going. Tyrone said his power went out. They having bad weather down on the south side, so his power went out and lost his internet connection. So that's why he tapped out. But thanks, everybody. We will be here again next week. You can see didn't get his gigs for the week. I'm with the Mike Ville Band tomorrow night at 10 Roof from 8:30 to 12. All request. You never know what we're going to play. Great, mostly 70s rock and soul and funk music. So come out and hang out with us. That's always a blast. No cover, and we go 8:30 to 12. Great band. So come on out, check that out. Thinking anything else? I think all the stuff I have this week is private, so don't have anything public. Everybody have a great Easter, and we will see you guys another episode next week. Thanks. Peace out.